On March 25th, 2026, a simple helmet tap made baseball history, introducing the robot umpire to resolve decades of human failure. For 33 years, one umpire's terrible calls made him the most reviled man in the sport. This video examines the shocking record MLB tolerated, the technology built to prevent it, and an exit that was negotiated, not forced. The journey began in Havana, Cuba, where this controversial official was born in 1961 before his family relocated to Hialeah, Florida. He began his career in the minor leagues in 1981, spending a decade honing his mechanics across regional assignments in the Florida State League, the Southern League, and the American Association. By 1991, he was hired as a fill-in umpire in the National League, securing a full-time position in 1993. When Major League Baseball unified its American and National League staffs in 2000, he was integrated into the unified Major League roster. By all conventional measures of tenure, he belonged in the majors, having established himself over decades of service. Yet, by every objective measure of performance, players and evaluators disagreed with his placement almost from the very beginning of his tenure. In 1999, a survey conducted by the Major League Baseball Players Association ranked him 31st out of 36 National League umpires. Sports Illustrated's highly publicized player polls, which gathered candid feedback from hundreds of active major leaguers, identified him as the third worst umpire in all of professional baseball in both 2006 and 2011. The peak of this peer-driven indictment came in 2010, when an extensive ESPN survey revealed that 22% of active major league players polled identified him by name as the single worst umpire in the game. While player sentiment and media polls painted a vivid picture of a deeply flawed official, the true depth of his performance deficit remained unquantified until advanced tracking databases were introduced. In 2019, a groundbreaking study published by Boston University finance expert Mark Williams analyzed 11 regular seasons of Major League data and covered over 4 million pitches. Most importantly, the study revealed that this controversial veteran official averaged 19 incorrect ball and strike calls per game, approximately 2.2 missed calls every single inning. The Boston University study exposed massive strike zone blind spots that actively penalized players. For instance, pitches thrown in the upper right and upper left corners of the strike zone were called incorrectly nearly 27% of the time. Under a two-strike count, umpires were twice as likely to call a true ball a strike, committing this error 29% of the time. When asked about his accuracy during spring training that same year, the veteran umpire told reporters he believed he only missed about 4 calls a game. The Boston University data proved his actual error rate was almost 5 times that self-reported figure. A rookie umpire with these rankings gets sent down. He didn't. The question isn't how bad the calls were. It's what kept him on a big league plate for 3 more decades anyway. The tipping point where his performance became a national spectacle occurred on October 8, 2018, during Game 3 of the ALDS between the Red Sox and the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. The series was tied 1-1, with the Red Sox having won 108 games in the regular season and the Yankees finishing second with 100 wins. Working at first base, the controversial umpire was placed under the microscope. In the bottom of the second inning, Yankees shortstop Didi Gregorius bunted down the first baseline. Eovaldi threw to first, and the umpire ruled him safe. Red Sox first baseman Steve Pearce immediately signaled the challenge. Replay review showed that the throw beat Gregorius by half a step, resulting in a swift reversal. In the bottom of the third inning, Gleyber Torres hit a grounder to shortstop Xander Bogaerts, who threw to first. The umpire ruled Torres out. The Yankees challenged, and the replay demonstrated that Torres beat the throw. For the second time in 2 innings, his ruling was overturned. By the bottom of the fourth, Yankees first baseman Luke Voit legged out an infield single, which was ruled safe. The Red Sox challenged, but this was confirmed, representing the only first base ruling that survived review. 2 batters later, Gregorius grounded into a double play, and the umpire ruled Gregorius out at first. Gregorius stayed on first, certain of the error. In a swift 28-second review, the crew overturned the call, ruling Gregorius safe. 3 reversals in 2 innings marked the first time since replay expanded in 2014 that an umpire had 3 calls overturned in a single postseason game. Across the 2016, 2017, and 2018 seasons, his first base calls sent to review were overturned 14 times out of 18. A 78% overturn rate against a 60% league average. MLB cited this performance as to why he was bypassed for that year's World Series. This defined many controversial moments. In early July 1998, he called Michael Tucker safe, completely missing that Tucker never touched home plate. On August 7, 2001, Chicago Bears legend Steve "Mongo" McMichael was ejected from Wrigley Field after using the stadium microphone to mock Hernandez over a blown call at the plate. On May 8, 2013, he ruled Adam Rosales' game-tying home run a double, an error MLB admitted the next day. By the 2023 season, physical limitations further complicated his performance. Sidelined with a back injury, he called just 10 games behind the plate all year. Yet in those 10 games, umpire auditor logged 161 missed calls. His decline culminated on September 14, 2023, during a game between the Nationals and the Pirates. Hernandez missed 15 ball strike calls, prompting the umpire auditor to grade it as the least accurate ball strike performance by any major league official in 5 years. 10 games, 161 missed calls. In any other job, that's a termination letter. What actually happened next wasn't a firing, it was a negotiation. The administrative gridlock was deeply tied to an ongoing legal battle that began in July 2017. Ángel Hernández filed a federal lawsuit against Major League Baseball, alleging that systemic racial discrimination had kept him from crew chief promotion and postseason assignments since 2005. Major League Baseball vigorously defended its promotional practices, presenting comprehensive data to show that crew chief promotions were merit-based, evaluating an umpire's leadership and situation management skills. To support this case, the league cited a critical letter written by Chief Baseball Officer Joe Torre, who told him, simply put, "We find your asserted justifications for remaining on the line to be implausible, internally inconsistent, premised on facts that are incorrect and not credible." During the litigation, MLB revealed that Hernandez had intentionally and deceptively eavesdropped on a confidential conference call between league officials and fellow umpire Ed Hickox. This administrative violation, combined with his frequent ejections of managers, provided the league with a rock-solid, non-discriminatory defense. The federal courts consistently rejected his claims. On March 31, 2021, District Judge J. Paul Oketon granted Major League Baseball a summary judgment, stating that no reasonable juror could find that the league's performance-based explanation was pretextual. In August 2023, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the summary judgment, ruling that he failed to establish any statistical significant disparity between white and minority promotions. With his legal avenues exhausted and his on-field performance declining, he worked his final game behind the plate on May 9, 2024, in a matchup between the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox, representing his 8th game of that regular season. For roughly 2 weeks afterward, he simply vanished from the field with no explanation. Late on Monday night, May 27, 2024, MLB released an official statement announcing his immediate retirement. However, reports from USA Today and ESPN confirmed that the 2-week gap was used to negotiate a substantial financial settlement to secure his immediate departure. His attorney, Kevin Murphy, argued that the umpire was not kicked out. While technically true under labor law, 3 decades of player complaints, a lost discrimination suit, and a career-worst final season do not produce a voluntary departure. They produce a negotiated financial settlement. The league had 2 decades of grading data on this exact problem and chose a settlement over a disciplinary record. Less than 2 years later, it built a system that makes that same judgment call in public, in real time, on every pitch. The technology revolution officially arrived on opening day, March 25, 2026, when the automated ball strike challenge system made its regular season debut. The historic moment occurred at Oracle Park during a matchup between the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants, broadcast live on Netflix. In the top of the fourth inning, Yankees shortstop Jose Caballero stood at the plate against Giants right-hander Logan Webb. Webb delivered a 90.7-mile-per-hour sinker on the upper inner corner. Home plate umpire Bill Miller called the pitch a strike. Caballero didn't hesitate. He tapped his helmet to initiate the first official ABS challenge in Major League Baseball regular season history. Within just 14 seconds, the stadium jumbotron and national TV broadcast displayed a real-time 3D animated graphic showing the ball's exact trajectory through a virtual strike zone calibrated to Caballero's measured height. The tracking data revealed that the sinker had clipped the upper inner corner of the zone. The strike call was upheld, and Caballero officially lost the challenge. Despite losing, Caballero praised the system, stating, "I think it's really good. Keep everyone accountable." The technical infrastructure behind this resolution is incredibly sophisticated. The automated ball strike system utilizes Sony Hawkeye tracking technology, deploying 12 optical cameras throughout each ballpark. 5 of these cameras track the pitch at up to 300 frames per second, while 7 track player movement at 50 frames per second. The data is processed locally to minimize latency before being transmitted across T-Mobile's private enterprise-dedicated 5G network to the scoreboard and broadcast trucks. This private network operates independently of public consumer networks, ensuring absolute reliability and a median margin of error of just 0.16 inches. The strike zone is fully automated and personalized. The width remains a standard 17 inches, but the height is dynamically calculated, set at 53.5% of the batter's measured height at the top and 27% at the bottom. To prevent players from manipulating their heights to shrink the zone, Major League Baseball conducted independent measurements during spring training. This revealed that 225 out of 430 hitters on opening day rosters were listed at least 1 inch shorter than their previously published heights. The ABS determines calls when the ball crosses the midpoint of home plate, exactly 8.5 inches from the front and back. The statistical impact of this technology has been immediate. Within the season's opening weeks, the pattern was already unmistakable. By mid-April, teams had made over 1,000 ABS challenges, and just over half succeeded, meaning the human umpire's original call was wrong roughly as often as it was right on the players pitchers chose to contest. While Caballero made history with the first challenge, Francisco Alvarez of the Mets recorded the first successful overturn the following day on a pitch from Freddie Peralta. League-wide walk rates surged to 9.9% of plate appearances, on pace for the highest walk rate since 1969. Concurrently, players swung at only 46.2% of pitches, on pace for the lowest swing rate in a full season since 2014, as hitters realized they no longer needed to protect against erratic strike zones. This level of mathematical precision completely changes the historical narrative. For decades, Ángel Hernández argued that his strike zone was accurate, relying on closed-door evaluations with his own subjective estimates to protect his position. Every disputed Boston University study, every self-reported miss, and every heated legal argument in federal court would have been instantly resolved by a public scoreboard graphic. The institutional point, however, extends far beyond his career. This was never really about one controversial umpire. It was about a league that possessed over 2 decades of highly detailed internal grading data on a known performance problem, yet chose to protect the status quo through quiet settlements and incremental technology adoption. By choosing a settlement over transparent accountability, Major League Baseball left every active umpire to inherit the fallout, working under a public challenge system that exposes human error in real time. The system that could have settled every dispute in real time now exists. It just showed up 2 seasons after the umpire it was built to check was already gone. This technological revolution marks a permanent shift in how professional sports are adjudicated, replacing human error with mathematical certainty. The age of the untouchable umpire has officially ended, giving way to an era of absolute accountability. For more deep dive analysis, viewers are invited to join the community. You can subscribe to the channel today to stay updated on all upcoming broadcasts and never miss the next deep exploration into the stories shaping the sporting world.